Hello and welcome to session 2 of Secret of the Puzzle Sword. This is another arc in our mystery series for Hearts of Wulin, which borrows tech from Brindlewood Bay and Apocalypse Keys to build a kind of mystery setup for our game. We are taking our time. One thing that we've learned in playing this through is it's much more fun when you just let us have lots of sessions to interact with NPCs and play with the mysteries and all of that kind of thing. So that is what we're doing. We set up last time, and we're going to reframe exactly where we are, going to re-acknowledge our locale and our characters that are on the table. Maybe those of you who are actually watching this on YouTube will be lucky, and I'll remember to screen share pictures of the NPCs so you can see all the beautiful people that we have here. Maybe, we will see. But we're going to start by talking with each of the players about their characters. But before we even do that, hey, my name's Lowell, pronouns he, him. And this session is part of the Gauntlet Gaming Calendar, which is an online gaming club. Here we're heading into 2022. We do a lot of games every month. You can find out more about that at gauntlet-rpg.com. We have, I'm going to start singing these praises early. We have another free online event that we're going to be doing at the end of March, which is an online convention. And we'll be having registration for that at the beginning of March. We're going to start getting people posting sessions for that. We usually have a couple dozen sessions on there. It's free. If you haven't tried a story game, or if you haven't tried an online game, you should come and try that. It's a great way to do it. We like to onboard people, show them how things are played. And one of the ways that we play things are with safety tools. We have lines and veils. I'll go over this. This will be the last time I'll do this at the start of the session, but I will check in case there are any big changes between. But right now, we have hard lines on dental horror, homophobia, sexual assault, torture, particularly torture by the PCs, I'll mention that. And then veils on graphic gore, harm to animals, spiders, suicide. And then lastly, we also have ask firsts. We would check in before we brought any of these things to the table on mind control, PC betrayal, sexual content, and suicide. So all of those things are there. We also use an X card, and last way we have an open door policy that we bring to bear. So you may hear us mention that, may hear us talk about that. I just want to make clear, everybody, that we have safe tools, and if that is a problem for you, you should go away. There we go. So we're going to start by checking in with Song Da. Song Da.
Treachery. I'm in the middle of the character keeper. This shouldn't be.
It's session 2. You know how this works. Session 1, Bao Shi got dinged, and now you are the leader for every time I do a once around today.
Oh, the hubris of the mid pack.
You have your Earth marked.
I do.
Did you get a new move last time?
So I almost feel ashamed saying this, but I did have a level up last time, and I raised the stat. That's still an option, right? That's something you can do with advancement.
What is this? That's not something you ever take.
Something weird came over me. No, I decided to take up my wood on the idea of patience or curiosity. It was between that and Earth, and I figured, well, caution should still be the bad thing.
Yeah, I agree. All right.
But a little scholarliness, a little focus of mind has crept in despite my best efforts.
Excellent. Are you happy with your entanglements as they stand right now?
I am happier with my entanglements.
Okay.
I reworded my general entanglement a little bit just to progress it and move it along, and it says Indigo Judgment, my clan leader, is on the verge of moving against Blue Mountain Scholar.
Interesting.
It's sort of me interpreting what we had last time, but he seemed much more on the edge of something.
Yeah, and if nothing else, you believe that is what is going to come. And of course, we have Sister Lushan is present at the gathering here as well.
Yes, I'm very disapproving of Iron Lotus.
Yes. Then that gives us a good sense of that. Let's come to Blue Mountain Scholar.
Yes.
Are you happy with your? Oh, now did you also take an element up, or did you?
Yeah, I did, because I started to look through the moves and I got super frustrated. So I just put a point in Earth.
Is that super frustrated of too many good choices, or things that didn't fit for your character? This is a good question.
I don't know. It was a momentary character feud. What can I say? So
Okay.
I put the point in and I haven't looked since. So I haven't how should we say, repaired any damage I caused.
Okay.
So there you go.
We'll keep that in mind. Don't forget we have a bunch of new moves.
I know. Actually, you have some really good ones.
Yes. I also need to put in the additional.
Which looks fun.
Yeah, there's some villain stuff. Plus, I forgot. I also need to put in the extra moves, the sort of optional general moves that are in the Hearts of Wulin book that are available for anybody that I keep forgetting to drop into this character keeper, but I will.
You should do it sooner rather than later.
Should I? But I'll have to wait till you get 8 points.
No, well, I could just take it back if I find something fabulous before I use this stat.
So tell me, are you happy with your entanglements?
Yeah, I am. I think that if anything, Songda and Iron Lotus have shown me that romance is a foolish endeavor. So why am I pining over a man whose name I don't even know? I think that's a good one. And then, unless it's not enough of an entanglement.
I think that's fine.
Okay. And then my friend Bao Shi is taken with Songbird Jun and cannot see that he can only be trouble.
And he is, Songbird Jun is present here on site. So yes, that can only be trouble.
Mhm.
All right, and that brings us to Iron Lotus. Are you happy with your entanglements as they stand?
Yeah, sorry, I was obsessively looking over the villain playbook again. I got distracted. But yes, let me double check, but I do recall. Yes, I am in fact quite happy with my both entanglements. Yes.
And we definitely will say that both Rising Phoenix and Ninth Raven, you will have seen them in the crowd gathered here at the house. So they are present and maybe even looking around to see if they can spot you. And then let's come to Bao Shi.
Yes.
Bao Shi, tell us.
I'm happy with my entanglements.
Okay.
I have to say that my romantic may be a bit generic. I can't choose between Captain Lin and Songbird Jun, but I like the tension of it. And my other is that Lost Song Janai has hidden their true identity from everyone because of their past with Blue Mountain Sentinel, and I still love what that produces.
Excellent. So last time you had been invited, some of you with some specific invitation. A certain NPC had been very interested in the arrival of Song Da, for example. You have been invited to come to the household of the Verdant Sword Alliance, the House of Endless Leaves. It is a mountain fastness built on multiple levels with hot springs in it. It is an old estate, beautiful, that had been abandoned for 10 years since the death of PbtA. And only recently, perhaps less recently than some have said, they've reestablished their place here. And the major players of the Verdant Sword Alliance have come here for a gathering. Of course, the Verdant Sword Alliance includes the House of Sun, which was involved with that very first murder. And of course, that master of that house is dead, and was going to be perhaps bringing the Golden Pilgrim Society into their auspices. But of course, that changed after the last murder investigation. But there are other parts of the order. It is a group that includes the Willow Sword, but also includes the Green Leaf Society, which was the society of that master who was killed 10 years ago. So that's an important sort of detail that's out there. What you have heard is that the reason that everyone has been gathered here is as witnesses for the washing of hands ceremony, a very formal retirement from the Wulin world ceremony to be done by Master Fawn, who is current leader of the Verdant Sword Alliance. She is older than she looks, but why she wished to retire is uncertain. She's not, she's older than she looks, but she's not that old. And apparently there's lots of rumors about why that has happened. There are various people who are here gathered. When you arrived, you saw many of your friends, as we mentioned, Ninth Raven and others who are gathered here. Your old friend, Cheng Rogang, is here, and her partner, First Orchid, and Undaunted Zedong, our drunken master, also hung on your arms for a little while, and Songbird Yun, who you know, has arrived with his butterflies in tow. A couple of cages of those. One with the non-dangerous, non-lethal butterflies. Whether he brought the other ones is uncertain. But then, of course, you ran into Sun Yang, who was very excited to see all of you, and is here to make a claim for his father's offices, which I'm sure will not be a problem. But you all gathered there in that great courtyard, and as Master Fawn went to greet you, there was a hue and a cry, a commotion, and you saw a set of official forces, troops coming up that entered in through the gates. You would have seen Magistrate Delon and, of course, Captain Liu there as well, sort of in tow. And at the front of it, a figure known as Lord Yao, who you would know as a major authority figure in the region. And he held out some papers, and he said that he was bearing an imperial edict to shut down the ceremony, that this was not to happen, and for the gates to be shut. And we are taking up kind of in the aftermath of that. There's been some commotion. You would see Magistrate Delon kind of try to follow Lord Yao, but there are a couple of other people that are clearly his attachés that are sort of more with him. He goes forward. Master Fawn comes down. Some other people from the Verdant Sword Alliance, kind of there's a gathering there, and then there is clearly a gesture of, okay, we need to go and talk somewhere else. And they will head off, and you will see this gentleman kind of step up, maybe a little bit thrown off, but he says, this is all clearly a misunderstanding. Ladies, gentlemen, you all know me. I am Silver Nightfall. This is something that Master Fawn and Lord Yao are going to get straightened out. So it seems to me that the only solution is to engage in the festivities break open the wine early, get the table set. I will go about instruct the entertainers and dancers and singers and all of those kinds of things to get started. And so the servants have the lists, the places you'll be placed for your rooms and so on. So please make yourselves at home, wander, explore. There are some areas that are still under construction. They're still being repaired. So we ask that you not enter into any area that is marked in that way. But I will make sure that the great hall food is laid out. Enjoy yourself. We will have more news on things later. There is nothing to worry about. And he will bow, and there's a lot of watermelon cantaloupe, that kind of hubbub going on, and people uncertain about what's happening and nervousness and so on. Let's start with Song Da. What do you do now that this is commotion's broken out? What's your goal here? What do you want to talk to? What scene do you want to call? What do you want?
I think he would look to Bao Shi. This is a suddenly incomprehensible situation, and he knows no one who can make more sense out of it.
Oh, Song, how very good to see you again.
Yes, of course. I'm glad you're here, especially now that things have taken a very unexpected turn.
We had hoped that you would travel with us. An invitation was rather specifically given to you.
Oh, well, I of course had my own invitation here.
Naturally, in your performance of your duties, but I think that they were really rather interested in you as a guest.
Oh, well, I can't say it's not nice to be recognized as someone important and necessary at these sorts of events.
Your reputation is on the rise, my dear boy.
I mean, a washing of the hands, an actual washing of the hands ceremony?
It seems like we may not be having it after all, though.
Well, surely this just put a hold on things. I mean, the Imperial Court couldn't really force someone to stay, could they?
Well, I mean, the Imperial Court could force people to do nearly anything they want.
Well,
that is sort of the purpose of being the Imperial Court.
But, there's a difference, of course. The Imperial Court, they could, of course, order me around, but someone like Master Fawn?
It does seem unusual. I'm a little curious. I know there was some rumblings about discontent and a little, perhaps, scurrying for placement should Master Fawn go through with a resignation. Perhaps the throne does not believe it would serve the Empire well to see Master Fawn leave her position.
Maybe. It worries me to see the two worlds mixing like this. They usually stay apart, and I think that's usually for the best.
It does make things mixed up in an odd and unpleasant way. Usually it pretends unfortunate things. You are muted, my love.
So quiet.
Let me cut to Blue Mountain Scholar in the midst of this hubbub. What are you doing? Who are you looking to? What do you want to do? You are also quiet.
Yeah, sorry. I think that the first thing I do as Blue Mountain Scholar, since I know Silver Nightfall is I avoid Silver Nightfall,
Okay.
and get my rooms assigned to me, and I get to those as quickly as possible and get the lay of the land so I can figure out when and how I can sneak if out and about. So I think that that's probably the first thing I do.
So you'll grab a servant. They will look. You will see that your name is highly placed on the list, like very highly placed. And they absolutely. Do you have servants with you, Master Scholar?
Well, one who is going to join me later, I'm sure they will be here.
Oh. And they will take you through. This house has winding pathways from place to place. It's huge. When you come up on it from below, it doesn't look quite as big as when you get in and you realize how spread and spacious it is. And you'll go by part of this sort of forest that they have growing inside, and you'll be taken up to the second floor and overlook looks over a pond, and the servants will say, when you need to go for your hot springs to bathe, the men's rooms are up over there. We'll join you. They are open air. There are, and like clearly they've been told to say this, there are ladies' chambers. They are closed. And then doesn't say any more about where they are, for example, or anything to you.
As in, like, I'm an old goat who might like go looking, or is it
Exactly.
more
Yes. Exactly.
And I'm like, okay. So,
Do you want to make a study roll to like
yeah, to get
ask questions or make declarations?
Yeah, that sounds awesome, because then I can start the tragedy rolling. So let's do that.
That's what we're hoping for.
All right. So let's see here. I think, wow. It seems like a good time to make a water roll. Here I am above some water. It's awareness, wisdom, kind of try to get a feel for who's welcoming, if it was Silver Nightfall or my uncle's lady friend.
Let's have you make that roll.
Yeah, I gotta get that rolling room up there. So there you go. Fails. Here we go. All right, so I'm rolling 2d6 and I'm adding 1.
Sure.
I got an 11.
Got 11. So you have 2 hold.
Awesome.
You can spend those to ask questions or to make declarations.
Let's see here. So I think that the first thing I do is I pull out that letter that I had gotten from Faye de Jong about the puzzle swords.
Yep.
And I pull it out, and on the back of it, there's like a design written, drawn on it. And I sort of hold it up to the view outside my window and angle it. And till I can put the lines of like the different walls of the buildings and the sort of amenities that are built in, to kind of see how this sort of maze kind of sets on top of it. So you see establishing that I've got a piece of a map in the letter as much as anything.
Yeah. So you first hold this declaration to match that up so that you have a much better sense of like how these passages, the place is built to kind of obscure those lines of sight and of travel, but with this you're able to get a good sense of that. What do you want to do with your other hold?
I think the best thing is to I think think the thing to do is probably ask, like, I sort of lean out. I have no fears. I'm my uncle. No one would think askance of me. And certainly, if anyone does notice me, I'll just be looking at pretty ladies. It's not a problem. But I want to see where, let's see here, the person that I'm most surprised about being just brazenly here is Undaunted Zedong. Where are they being taken?
There is a thing where Undaunted Zedong goes, and there is that bit where Zedong is very clearly taking advantage of the confusion of Master Fawn, and like, oh, no, it's this page here. Look here. As you can see, if you do that, or was it this page here? Oh, here is my name, right here. And eventually convincing the servants that that they should be placed in essentially one of the chambers that is set aside for unlisted dignitaries that have been provided for by the Verdant Sword Alliance. They really aren't supposed to be there, but they are given their own room.
Well done. Okay, so now I know.
Yep.
Good. And then I think that probably the scene cuts away when you see take my coat off and I put it over the back of the chair there, and essentially, and then there's a thing where you take the hat off, and there's clearly the thing where she's setting it up so that it looks like there's,
Right.
you know, blue collar or Blue Mountain Scholar is sitting at a desk, you know.
The candle is
So,
positioned just so.
Exactly, just so.
Iron Lotus, what are you up to? There's a lot of people here to talk to. You had that weird thing happen earlier, that vision that you had of your brother, and what are you up to?
Yeah, and I think it cuts to Iron Lotus like following the servants who are going around, taking care of people, answering questions. And then one by one, Iron Lotus steals bits and pieces of what makes up a servant's attire, right?
Mhm.
From the laundry room and all these other things. I think I want to hear what the servants are saying and see if I can pick up any information that way.
That feels like a study move.
Yes. Okay, so let's see. I think I'm being very yeah, I think I'm trying to flow like water in the situation. Let me. Oh, I'm such a bad player. I forgot to open up the dice room. I apologize.
I always forget, so.
It's like I knew I forgot something. Okay. 2. I think that's my plus. Double checking. Yeah, +2. All right. Let's see how it goes. 8. Not
8.
bad.
So you have
Yeah.
one hold.
Oh, not quite enough to get a clue, but I can if I
Burn a couple of bonds.
agree to a complication. I was gonna say it's written into the move. Gain 1 hold or hold 2 if you take a cost.
Yes.
So, yes.
What
So
what is the
that.
complication? And you'll have 2 hold.
I'm going to say that because I assume Blue Mountain Scholar's last songs that I was on her way to somewhere else, right?
Right.
I'm going to say that she sees me transforming into one of the servants, right?
Yeah, you are a little shocked, Mountain Scholar, as you go to kind of move and take your own role, and you will see Iron Lotus as he changes his garb into a servant's garb to blend in with an extraordinary skill. We'll put that on the back burner for you for a moment here. But that gives you 2 hold.
It does. It does, in fact. So with that 2 hold, it's always so satisfying to power game PbtA. Okay.
Oh yeah,
I
I said it couldn't be done.
but I do it all the I also love to power game BOB, so there is
Yeah.
that. Okay, so I'll use my 2 hold to gain a clue.
Oh, but we haven't got a murder yet, so there's no clues yet.
Oh, that's right. I see. I got too excited. I will instead, with the 2 hold, I'm gonna ask about a person. I'm gonna ask what they're saying about Master Fawn. Like, I'd love to know more about her.
So what the servants seem to be talking about is they are just as in the dark about what's going on, if not more, about why Master Fawn has done this. And the thing that they are clearly worried about is that there are some people that they are not as fond of, that they are worried are going to be taking advantage of the situation. Silver Nightfall is not spoken of in glowing terms. He is certainly, the general sense you get is that there's not a lot of respect for him. But like more significantly, the 2 members of the Yi family, Yi Feng and Yi Rong, the thing that you pick up is that they are at odds, but are both ambitious. And like, that's the real nervousness is people are like, what if either of one of them like pushes forward or takes advantage of this? They're, Yifeng's young and hard-headed, and who knows what he will do. I mean, he's always about the money, and what will that mean? And then they mention Erong, and they say Erong, he's always wanted to be in charge of the alliance. And he's been gone for so long, but now he's come back, and with who knows what's going to happen.
Ooh.
So definitely Erong has been gone for a while and is very recently come back. So does that seem fair for 1 hold?
Yeah, absolutely.
You've still got another hold. Do you want to declare or ask a question?
Ooh, it's always fun to declare. I cannot resist that temptation. I'm going to, let's make it really difficult. I'm going to say that Master Fawn and Lord Yao have a very like complex past, right? That's hinted at.
Somebody says, it's even worse because, there's that long-standing tension between the 2 of them, and but now Blue Mountain Scholar, Master Fawn's old lover, is here. So now it's even worse. I mean, what's going to happen here? What, this triangle? I mean, if Lord Yao realizes who Blue Mountain Scholar is, who knows what he'll do.
Yeah, and I think at that point I almost drop a plate. Just like
catch
it again. And see there's sweets on it and like throw one into my mouth.
Absolutely. Bao Shi, what are you up to?
I think I'll look at something. If you'll excuse me a moment, I have. Give me just a moment. Perhaps we can catch a bit of refreshment in just a few. And I'm going to try and catch Lynn before he. I don't know if he's following Delon or if he's straggling back, but I'm going to try and catch him.
You can catch him. He's kind of like trying to figure out where he's supposed to go. He'll be like, "Oh, Master Bao-Shi,
You're old friends. You can simply call me Shi.
mhm.
It is good to see you again.
It is good to see you. I had hoped that I had expected that you would be here once we heard news of some kind of tumult.
Well, I was invited. Apparently, my expertise might have been needed, but now who knows what could even be going on? I mean, what might you have heard? What is all of this, my dear old friend? And I'll kind of pat him on the hand as I'm saying this.
I have been told not to speak of the matter.
I understand, but between old friends and of course completely in confidence.
Let's have you make that study roll.
Study, or is it hearts and minds?
I'm good either way. If your intent is information and improving a relationship, I would say hearts and minds. If you're just trying to wheedle information out of him, I'd say study.
I think I'd rather go with the hearts and minds,
Okay.
just because I want to play on our friendship. I suppose.
Absolutely.
All right. And I think I'm going to be using. I think it'll be wood. This is curiosity and patience and all of that. So, all right. Come on and roll well. That is not a roll well, but it's a 7.
Well, I'll tell you what I know. That, after the procession had set out for the estate, a set of cavalry arrived with Lord Yao at their head, and he came and spoke with the magistrate, and then dragged him along and said that there was official business. It was very unusual, and I don't think the magistrate Delon is particularly happy with the high-handed treatment he's got, but they're very serious. There are troops scattered around the city.
Really?
Yes. I don't think enough to deal with wuxia force, but a symbolic gesture would mean that if someone wanted to leave or deny, they would have to strike against official forces.
Mm.
But I don't know, there's something else. Yao had some sort of like document, a sketch or something that he showed Magistrate Delon briefly, and then hid it away. Like maybe they're looking for someone in particular.
Oh, that's very interesting and quite troubling. Lynn, you must take care of yourself. I know you are very strict in your duty, but this could become a very volatile situation, and I would hate to see you injured.
But it is my duty. I appreciate your thought. Certainly my that one of your skill and praiseworthiness should take such care and consideration for one such as I is.
We have known each other since we were youths. You have to know that my friendship is quite deep.
That's very generous of you to say.
I think I got an inner conflict.
Okay.
That's just rough to hear. I think I'm probably rolling here with Probably fire, I guess.
Okay.
All right. Ooh, I rolled a 10.
10. You will mark XP,
Okay.
but you'll also keep yourself together. Like it hurts, but
Yeah, there may be a shadow that passes my face a moment, but it is no generosity at all. And I hope we can see each other soon in less official capacity. I would love to regale you with some stories.
that would be excellent. I should seek out Magistrate Delon and see if she
I
needs anything.
shan't keep you any longer.
Song Da. You will hear someone say, Master Da, Master Da.
I takes me a moment to sort of realize that. Oh wait, me! I turn around to see who's saying that.
You see this woman. She's dressed in the garb of the Verdant Sword Alliance. She comes over to you quickly, and she will say, "You are Song Da?"
Yes. It's wonderful to meet you. You are.
Oh, forgive me. I am Xiao Chun. I was very much hoping that you would be attending.
Me you mean the historians, of course. Yes, we would come to such a momentous occasion.
No, I'd hope to meet with you. I've read with bated breath your reports. Most recently, I was able to read the story of the events at the House of Sun and the preliminary sketches that you presented for what happened at the tournament.
Well, I hadn't thought those had been circulated outside of the bureau yet.
As they not officially.
Oh, well, it's nice to hear that you enjoyed them.
I'm quite taken with the work that you've done, and I have some questions for you about some particular matters of style. And I was hoping that I could about your choices that you've made. I'm curious about some of them.
Oh, all right. Which
am
history?
I am an amateur writer myself, and so I would hope that maybe I could speak with you to seek your advice on certain things.
Well, it's nice to meet a fellow appreciator of history and the texts. I'd be happy to tell you anything I could remember about the situations and when I was writing it and what I was thinking. I believe I have several several packs full of old notes. Maybe we can find some more that you could look at there.
Nothing else would please me more. This would be an honor to be able to spend time and to read through your notes and so on.
Oh yes. Oh, and I've been working on a final draft of the martial arts tournament report.
That I would love to see that. I'm very curious. There's certain to be certain elements that were so deep that the preliminary documents left out the detail that I know you often give.
Oh, well, I mean, there were some very complex relationships and intertwining things going on there. I wouldn't want to give anybody the wrong impression by turning in just or by publishing any sort of half-finished draft. I've taken a bit more time on this one to make sure it all flows properly.
Well, excellent. I have set you up as I was hoping you would arrive. In chambers that have a beautiful view, but also have access to some of the writing tables and library so that you might avail yourself of that.
Oh, well, I'm used to just working out of a hand notebook, but I'm certainly. I'm sorry. Show me. Yes, of
Oh,
course.
and she will lead you up to like past like some of the honored quarters, like, and then to the higher level honored quarters up to what you guess is probably the most illustrious reserved area. And she will bring you to this beautiful room. It is someone has gone to some trouble to prepare a writing desk and have beautiful scrolls laid out and a selection of excellent inks.
And I think while Sangda is aware technically, intellectually, that as a historian of the Bureau of Legends, of course, he could go anywhere in these sorts of places and he should be welcome at all levels of, but I mean, someone's actually bringing him up the third set of stairs. Have you seen the lacquer on these walls?
So if these will be your chambers? I hope they are suitable to you.
Oh, you mean this is where you keep the scrolls and texts?
Oh, this is the room I have prepared for you.
For me?
Yes.
Well, it's and that room too?
Well, that's your sleeping chambers. This is merely the writing chamber.
Wait, there's a whole nother set?
Yes, and of course, all you have to do is ring the bell, and the servant will come. There's one stationed at either end of the hallway for when you need that.
For for all of the other guests as well?
Yes, unfortunately, they're a little stretched thin, but I've told them to make a special pay special attention for your needs.
Well, that's very unexpected. I mean, this looks like a perfect sort of place to review texts. Thank you.
And she points at a door just a few doors away, and she goes, "And those are my chambers."
Your reading chambers?
No, there's my chambers. I do much of my reading there.
Oh, well, that will make it convenient for discussing the technicalities of some of the historical entries.
I do have a request of you.
Well, after all this generosity, I of course couldn't turn down anything I can do for you.
I have done a bit of historical writing. I had hoped to be a historian, but the last is not to be. But I have done a bit of historical writing, some of some events you're familiar with, and so on. That perhaps you would be willing later to look over a poor draftsman's hand.
Well, that does only seem fair that this be an exchange of works, and I'm sure I could compare them to some of the official histories and maybe give you some pointers to work on going
Mine is
forward.
my work is more of a commentary, a reimagining.
Of course, and like this, not mean by any sense, but definitely a little bit patronizing sort of tone of voice is coming. Of course, I'll look through the things you've written, your little pieces that you've worked on.
I did bring a sketch of some of my elaborations of some of the things from the records of the House of Sun. But perhaps I could, look at this tonight.
On yes, on the report that I did on the
It was-
House of Sun, where I was.
Exactly.
Um, Well, I'll be sure. I would be happy to look at your editions. I am sure there are.
They are fancy, and certainly I would ask that you not share them. Or I know my family does not care for the work that I do.
Well, yes, very hush. Should
Thank you. I
your
appreciate
family
your
come?
your 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 discretion. Thank you. I will speak with you tomorrow. Thank you very much. And she hands you these papers and bows and heads out.
Notes on my histories.
We'll come back to that. Blue Mountain Scholar.
Yes, you mean Lost Sunshine?
I would like to take our break here. But then when we come back, I think we have to cut to our hot spring scene.
Absolutely.
Sound fair? Let's
Mhm.
take 10 and then we will carry on. So we've just said that the hot springs for the women's area, women's baths, are enclosed or indoors. So what do we see there, Janai? Like what's the scene that we do see through the steam and the mist?
I think I like the idea that what you is that Janai has kind of like been right after they saw Iron Lotus switching over into the servant thing, has sort of watched and then kind of gotten themselves backed up between the servants area and the bathhouse, and they actually have to dunk in.
Okay.
So essentially it's that thing of like she scurries in and like, okay, definitely not probably going to come in here, and then sees Iron Lotus servant coming towards here, and she's like, God, they're coming. Quickly disrobes and jumps into the water.
That sploosh.
Yes,
It's
trying to act very, but haven't seen, essentially Iron Lotus as the servant, haven't recognized them as Golden Peony or anything
Okay.
like that. So
we'll imagine that they built some walls with some murals painted on them around the outskirts of that. There's still an open air at the top, so the steam can go out into the night, but it is surrounded. I imagine that you can tell that there are a few other women here in the house, but down, a couple maybe talking, but the others isolated. And finally, Iron Lotus, Golden Peony, you finally have a chance to let your clothes down and be your other self.
Yeah, and I think the way it looks is like the camera shifts behind something, and each time, like a bit of the Iron Lotus servant disappears until it's purely Golden Peony with a robe on, about to step into the bath.
And you will step in, and Janai, you have seen Golden Peony once before. If you may recall, when there was that moment when the poor, perhaps, how do I put this, less than clever rising phoenix was accused. Golden Peony was there to show up to lend her support. So you do know her, and perhaps you're a little bit surprised to see her there.
yeah, but I haven't been introduced, have I? So I
No.
can't say that I know her. Oh, all right, but
She comes in.
Iron Lotus's sister shows up in steam around me.
Yes.
I think all I do is when she sort of like slips into the water, I do that thing where I move over so that she can sit on the bench near me, because there's really just the one bench on this side. And I kind of sink down and I say, the water's lovely.
I say, oh, yes, it really quite is. After such a long journey, it is a moment where I pause, especially for someone such as I with a weak feminine constitution. It was a very difficult journey to manage. I say as I sink into the water.
She goes, I'm sorry, are you feeling ill? Can I get you something?
Oh, no. It's
No, we can get some tea. And she'll lean forward. She goes, let me ring the bell.
oh, you're very kind. I didn't mean to worry you. It is a lingering condition. Nothing to, but I would appreciate the tea. I am,
Anything else?
well, perhaps an introduction.
I'm sorry. I am La Sang Janai. And she goes, I am from Blue Mountain. Blue Mountain Scholar is my great uncle. And she sort of nods. So that's why I'm here.
I
There's
understand.
no particular need for a poet. And she sort of turns and as she rings the bell, she sort of leans out and she says, tea, and she sort of turns back and she goes, sweets or savory?
Oh, sweets, of course.
Sweets then.
Servant, yes, I'll have an assortment brought.
Slides back into the water.
The Blue Mountain Scholar, yes, I have heard of him. I, on the other hand, am here alongside to escort my brother. I'm not sure if you've heard of him. Iron Lotus, he is the servant of Master Baoshi.
Yes, well, of course, Baoshi. She sort of smiles and says, and I do know Baoshi. I think she sort of says, and of course I've met your brother. I didn't think of him as his servant, though.
Oh, well, perhaps apprentice would be a kinder word. I'm sure my brother would not appreciate me saying such things about him. He can be a little sensitive.
I hadn't noticed. He seems very stalwart.
Oh, indeed. Perhaps he shows you a side that I do not get to see.
And I think she kind of leans back and she goes, so what are you going to do here then?
Oh, well, as a woman, my only role here is to serve others as I'm like really struggling with the patriarchy talk.
See, Janaya sort of like her eyebrow sort of bends. She goes,
But that's really what Golden Peony is going for, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, I'm just here at the whatever my brother needs of me, and to serve as a loyal sister and woman as best as I can.
oh, certainly. Certainly we can have a little bit more fun than that.
Oh, I don't know. Sweets in a bathhouse, that already seems like too much for me.
And Janai slides back and says, really? So then how is it that you assist your brother?
Oh, well, I clean his room and I put his things in order and all these other
Keep his
feminine
wardrobe
virtues.
in-
Yeah, of course. Oh, how about you? Do you not serve Blue Mountain Scholar and your uncle in a similar fashion as is expected of you?
I just make sure he doesn't get too drunk.
And like Golden Peony looks scandalized. Oh, is that all? You are granted more freedom than I would imagine.
She sort of says, yes, infinite amounts of freedom.
Wow.
Really pay attention.
I wouldn't know what to do with so much freedom. I'm quite happy with where I am and what I do.
Still, I mean, Iron Lotus sounds like he's really quite the taskmaster.
Yes, yes, there is quite a lot that he wants done, and his ambition will serve him well, I am sure. It is a good thing that he was born a man, that he could serve such ambitions.
You can see Jedi's eyebrow keeps twitching. She goes, we'll have to see about that. And then when the sweets come, she'll bring them over to you. She'll watch very closely to see which ones you choose first.
Ooh, I think like when that happens, Golden Peony says, "Oh, but I apologize, I forget myself. Shouldn't you have one first?"
She sort of stops and she goes, she remembers the one that you picked from that sweets tray before, the first one, or the one that Iron Lotus had, I should say. And she stops and she lets her hand hover and then she goes right for it, but she's sort of watching you. And she picks that primo one, the most gorgeous one that looks like a little lotus flower. It's pink, and the leaves of it, of the presto, are like just this green tea, slightly green, just so beautiful, dusted with a little bit of pearlescent white rice flour, so it's sweet. She picks that one up.
Yeah, and I grab it before you can, and then I feed it to you. I see you have quite good taste, Lost Tongues and I. That is indeed quite a remarkable sweet that you've chosen for yourself.
And she does, like, she eats it and she's sort of staring at you and she goes, huh.
I think that merits an inner conflict roll. You are muted.
Absolutely. Let's see here. I'm trying to get.
Good news is you get to mark XP.
Yes. Okay. Rolls me, and I think I will go with, I was trying for awareness to figure out what's going on, so I will roll with water. We'll see how that goes. So I'm rolling 2d6 and adding 1. So that gives me a 6, so I fail. Let's see here. However,
Do you want to burn a bond?
that's an interesting question. Can you burn a bond with these?
Yeah, you can always burn a bond to take it
Okay.
up if you want to spend your last bond to take that up to a 7.
Let me see here. Well, that just sounds ill-advised, so probably should do that. Oh, it is with Bao Shi. Yes, because they have to protect Bao Shi. That makes sense. I will spend that to keep from.
From something horrible happening?
Yeah, and I don't know what the thing is, but it comes really close because my heart is beating super fast.
So there's a moment where he does that and he kind of draw back and you're about to talk and you realize you're about to speak with your uncle's voice. And you kind of bring yourself kind of choke a little bit on that. Do you want to mark an element or do you want to flee the bath?
Mark an element. Yes, that's what I will do. Sadly. Now I'm uncertain. I do not know what's going on.
We'll come back to that for the flip side of that. But let me go to Bao Shi first. Bao Shi, you're out there. There are people now participating in the festivities and so on, and eating and drinking and enjoying themselves. What are you doing? What are you up to? How are you proceeding?
I think I'm kind of moving through the folks and getting my bits of food and drink. And, not eavesdropping, that would be rude, but, certainly not closing my ears off.
Someone is making a scene.
Oh, dearie dear, that seems fun.
You walk towards that, you will see this woman with her husband, and you can see there seems to be like one of the people from the Verdant Sword Alliance, and you'll see that there are some servants there, and they're standing there looking, and this woman says, "I had my hairpin, and then this servant came by, and my hairpin is gone. That servant has stolen my hairpin."
Oh, my goodness, madam, please calm down. You say you've lost your hairpin.
Yes, and this servant has stolen it.
Now, you had your hairpin when you were in your room?
I had it when I came out here, and then this servant came by, was serving it, and then suddenly it is gone.
I see. Well, madam, perhaps you will find that as you were walking past the table with the sweets, you leaned down to grab what I could see. There's a bit of frosting there on your sleeve. When you did so, I'm guessing because it was, by the look of it, yes, cherry flavored, probably your favorite since it was the one you chose. You rapidly brought it to your mouth. Of course, because of your fine, and I will say, absolutely beautiful coiffure, you swept your hair to the side so that you would not get this frosting on it. And I would think, and I'll kind of turn my head towards, and probably should make a roll.
This is the point at which you should absolutely roll. What do you want to roll with?
Oh, this will be my good one. This is metal. All right. Come on, roll well. That's an 8.
So on an 8, you do succeed.
Mm-hmm.
And you will see you reach over and pull that out.
As you see, it flew into the canapé.
She will snatch it out of your hands. And you see she looks furious because you have just embarrassed her publicly in front of all these people who have been watching this to prove that she was a fool. And you'll see her grab it and she steps away, and you can see her nobleman husband kind of looks at you with and they grumble off. But the member of the Verdant Sword Alliance that is standing there trying to kind of deal with it will turn to you and will say, "That was very well done."
It is a bit of a talent as well as a skill. I am Baoshi. You may have heard of me.
I have heard your name spoken before, though I have not long been present in the city, but certainly in the narrative of the events of the tournament, you are spoken of highly.
Oh, that is charming. You have me at a disadvantage.
I am called Pine.
Fine. Have I heard of this first?
That's a steady roll.
Ooh, okay. Let's see then. This is probably going to fall into damn, it's probably going to either fall metal or water. Reflection or wisdom. I think I'm going to go with metal again. I
Certainly.
think this is me trying to remember this. Did I roll the exact same? I don't think it rolled.
If you get the exact same numbers on the exact same dice, then you
Yeah, and
always
it
get to
did put
reroll.
up a new one. So,
There we go.
all right, there we are.
Uh,
So 9. Oh, it did pop up. It literally rolled the same thing. Wow.
weird, but that's okay. We always, well, if it does the same dice, we always re-roll it.
I
Um,
admitted.
So you've got 1 hold, unless you want to spend a bond to get 2 hold.
Hmm. No, I won't.
Oh.
I'll take my 1.
So you can either ask a question, or make a declaration. What I will tell you is that you know that this is a senior person within the I think you've heard their name sort of in connection to being one of the senior hierarchy within the Verdant Sword Alliance. That's the basics that you have. But now you can ask a question or make a declaration.
I'm so bad about declarations.
That's fine.
No, I think I'm going to something changed. I'm gonna ask.
Sure.
What is it that I know about this person's motivations? What is their positioning here in the group?
Certainly, and you're asking about Master Fawn and kind of talking. There's certainly some talk about, like, well, if Master Fawn steps down, who is going to replace them? One name that you heard was Pine. They are probably, in many ways, the most qualified and well-placed heir in some ways, but they are disliked by many within the household because they tend to react with a great degree of emotionality.
Oh,
Like they tend to, when they react very strongly, very emotionally. And to the point of embarrassing people. There's another thing in that they've been around long enough. They're probably close to Master Fawn's age. They have been the leader of a couple of purges within the Verdant Sword Alliance of people pursuing unorthodox techniques.
Oh, okay.
Including those broken chi cultivation techniques that you saw before. Like those are banned amongst the school, and they have purged some of those people in the past.
I don't completely disagree with that. It is a great pleasure to meet you. Your reputation precedes you.
And what reputation is that?
Your skill and your devotion to the house here. I've heard your name as one of the most wise, most capable, and perhaps most qualified to lead the House of the Fold Leaves. Is that right?
It is the House of Endless Leaves.
Endless Leaves.
They say, I would not wish to say that that is so.
I understand.
But I appreciate your favorable assessment. It is good to hear that people speak of me with some respect.
Well-deserved respect.
You are an investigator. Are you close to the magistrate?
No, I would say we are not close. I have given my best aid to Magistrate Delan, and sometimes it has been, well, ill-received.
That's too bad. I had hoped that perhaps you might have some insight as to what is going on.
I was hoping perhaps you could add some insight. I have heard that perhaps there is someone in particular they are looking for. A sketch. Any ideas?
That brings them to a stop, and they go, no, they say, calculating the deliberateness of their lie. You will forgive me. I appreciate your intervention here, but I must see to some of the other guests.
I hope we have an opportunity to speak again soon.
I'm sure we will, Detective. Let's cut back to Iron Lotus and Blue Mountain Scholar, kind of in that pause there after that moment.
I regained my equilibrium. And I stopped and said, "Oh, that was a little bigger than I realized."
Yeah, I'm resisting the urge to. And I say, "Oh, I apologize. Perhaps I'm a little too forward. I don't make friends easily."
She sort of stops and she goes, "Well, I guess all it takes is a little practice, right?"
Perhaps, yes, I would like to become friends if that is something you were open to.
Considers and she goes, "All right. What do you like to read?"
Oh, I'm not very good with reading, I'm afraid.
Do you play an instrument?
I do, in fact, play an instrument, but I hesitate to set your expectations too high. My brother isn't too happy with my capabilities just yet, but I am working on it.
Ooh, what do you play? I would like to hear it.
I'm trying to find the name of the particular. Right, like
There's the
those long
biwa,
ones.
and there's the dulcimer. That's
Yeah,
the
right.
zither.
Like the one that was in the Untamed. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, and I say I have been practicing since I was a young girl, but unfortunately, what I do not have in skill, I make up for enthusiasm, which applies to many areas of my life, unfortunately.
That does sound unfortunate. She sort of stops and says, "Still, I would like to hear you play."
Oh, well, I did bring my instrument. If you would like to perhaps meet at another time, and it would have to be private. I'm very shy, and you would have to promise me that you wouldn't tell anyone about the nature of my terrible playing.
Oh, no, I would never speak of such a thing. She sort of looks up and she goes, "Well, I'll bring the wine. Where should we meet?"
Oh, wine. Well, I suppose we could meet at your quarters, I say, moving closer.
Sort of stop and I say, "My uncle is very grumpy. There must be somewhere better." She sort of stops and says, "Wait a minute." She'll slide over, she'll pull her robe over and she'll get out this letter, and she'll have it folded over so you can't see any of the words that are written, but you can see there's a drawing. And she'll look at it and she'll go, "We're right here." She'll show you like around. She goes, "Let's meet here. There's a overhang from one of the greater buildings there. It's not, I don't believe there's anyone in there right now. It looked abandoned."
Oh, you often carry around maps of the places that you were visiting?
Well, I have to know where I'm going when my uncle sends me to do something. So yes, in fact, I do.
Oh, I see. Of course, as women, we need every bit of guidance that we can get. I understand.
She sort of laughs and she goes, I just need to know where the nearest liquor store is. That's all.
And I think kind of as you do that, you will hear down at the far end of the bathhouse that kind of laughter of women that I think for both of you, your ears will prick up because you identify it very quickly as the laughter of a group of women who have very clearly said something snarky about someone else, and they are doing that laughter of sort of pointed hostility. And you will see, you kind of hear that from one end, and from the other end, you'll hear the kind of the splash as this figure gets up, clearly with a sort of degree of anger, out of the hot springs, and gather a towel, and you will see this woman storm by, clearly going to change. You saw her at the very edge of the people who were clearly with the Verdant Alliance, and you'll see it caught maybe a name, Little Plum, and she storms out angrily, and then the laughter kind of continues down from that, and like clearly they're very amused that she reacted as strongly as she did. Let's come back to Song Da.
Hello.
Hello. What are you up to?
So what is the nature of these notes, this sketch that she's made about
Please roll inner conflict.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, I just upped my wood, and I am curious, and this is the patience to make it all the way to the end without storming out or ripping anything up.
Certainly. Let's have you roll.
Nope, that tab. Yep, do it. So close.
What'd you get?
Oh geez, that's a 5.
So you start reading this, and the first thought that occurs to you is, this woman's a very good writer. Like, she's very good. In a way that yeah, it kind of bothers you at the start, like, because she is very good. And she's taken certain passages of your thing and has elaborated, rewritten them. But then it shifts. And wow, this is heavy duty / fiction erotica versions of the stories, like deeply like pairings and stuff, and written, there's allusions and stuff, but there's a lot of like a little too graphic. Why don't you mark your wood? No pun intended. And then you hear Song Da, and Sister Lushan is standing over you.
One of the notes on marked wood is licentious.
And Sister Lushan looks down at you and she says, "What is that you're reading?"
Hogdot just turns around, deeply, deeply red. This what I wasn't it's a history of, well, you see, it's a meta textual commentary on the interrelated workings of complicated social hierarchies.
Interesting. Your own work or a work that you found here.
Just something I found laying on the shelf. Who even knows who may have authored it? I certainly don't. Not me. I don't even know why you'd ask such a superfluous question.
Well, it seemed engrossing. I will have to read it if you're finished with it.
I certainly, once I have finished a thorough investigation of the text.
Have you found out anything else?
About the text?
No, about what's happening. Have you heard anything, found out anything about why this Lord is here or what's going on?
Oh, here in the no, well, you see, I was just well, I was settling into these. Welcome to my rooms. These
She does look
sweet
around. She goes, these are much nicer than the chambers I was afforded.
It's, well, the young mistress said there was just a problem fitting people in, so just wherever there's a bed, I guess. Not a bed, of course. And I wasn't, because no.
Are you well?
I've been feeling warm flashes here just very recently.
Perhaps that travel on the road was too much for your lightness skills.
Well, I certainly don't think I don't even think there's a reason to be calling up. Oh, why don't we see your lightness skills? You want to go? We can go right now. I'll race you.
I don't think it is necessary for you and I to race around. I do, however, think it would be good if you were to perhaps fall into your role as a historian and see what you can hear or see this evening. Things are moving quite quickly.
Yes. Well, and he straightens his robes in all of multiple times. You're correct. There is a time for reading and there's a time for writing, and I have certainly finished with reading for the day.
All right, then let us go.
Yes. Yes. Now, yes.
I will speak with you later then.
Good even day morning to you.
It is evening.
I knew that, obviously. I am an observer of by. He just slides the doors closed.
Shook. What do you do with those pages? Iron Lotus has suggested that he burned them.
I stuffed them under my mattress towards the end, very hastily.
Thank you. That is a hard move yet to come.
This episode. Oh.
All right. Let's take our second break here, and then maybe we'll cross some paths, okay? Let's take 5. So let's try and cross some paths here that we haven't crossed here. Let's cross Baoshi and Lost Song Shanai or Blue Mountain Scholar, and then let's cross Iron Lotus and Song Da, or Golden Peony and Song Da, however we would do. But let's cross those two streams here. Baoshi, you are moving around in the kind of the wake of that and kind of interested. Golden Peony, sorry, Golden Peony, Long Song Shanai. Are you in that identity or in the Blue Mountain Scholar identity when Baoshi sees you?
Oh, I see. I think that this is like very close after she's left the bathhouse, right? So she probably runs into Baoshi then. So and she's like,
Hello, Jedi.
how are you?
I'm doing well.
I knew you'd be here. She's
Yes, I knew you would be here too, and I'll move in closer. And that old goat you keep pretending to be.
yeah, it's complicated.
I continue to think you would be well served to cast aside that. The old man has taken off and he's left you with terrible, terrible burdens. And you deserve the credit. You are a brilliant mind.
I care nothing for the credit, Baoshi. You can have any but credit there is to be had. She sort of stops and says, no, I had to come. A friend of his came and asked for him to come. And even though I'm not him, I can at least be here to witness and maybe help out those that he's fond of. It's the least I can do.
Yes, it seems as though things have changed. However, holding up the ceremony and all of that, I think they're looking for someone.
Really?
Yes, I spoke with a friend of mine who says that they have an image of someone in particular.
I wonder who.
I'm not sure.
Most of the people here are well known. It would be easy to place them. Then you see it, and then you see her look up. And she goes, and she goes, I have some thing that it's the puzzle sword that we need to look to.
And we know where it is.
No, we know where parts of it are.
Mm.
And we know that it's a puzzle sword that's to a puzzle. And she kind of goes, so we don't really know as much about it as we think. I think those are the people we want to keep an eye on. I thought I saw First Orchid. I could be wrong, but I'm almost certain I saw her.
Yeah, well, am I correct? Did we saw,
Chang Rogan?
yeah, didn't we?
She goes, yeah. So if Songbird's here, then all the three pieces of the puzzle sword and people who know about it that we know of are here.
I worry that Songbird may become rash.
I'm going to be surprised if he does.
Have you uncovered any mysterious findings in your casting about?
She sort of stops and goes, I thought I saw Iron Lotus, but...
Oh, yes, I'm sure he's about.
And she stops and says, but I may have been mistaken. However, I did run into his sister, Golden Peony.
Really? Golden Peony's here.
Mm-hmm. Boy, he really works her hard.
Really?
You should have a conversation with him.
Lotus stays with
like
me
his
practically
servant.
constantly, and I never see his sister at all.
Well, he must be just, I don't know. He sounds like an ogre.
Well, I find that Is he keeping a separate house? As I say, we have been staying. I'm even surprised Golden Peony's here. Iron Lotus says that she doesn't feel well and generally stays close to home.
Well, she does play at being weak and, overly feminine, but she seems very overworked. I just worry.
She is a very nice person, and I'll say, when I first met her, she didn't seem entirely a shrinking violet.
Right.
Of course, I'll admit, at the time, I found Iron Lotus to be an absolute bore. So perhaps, I don't know, maybe there has been some sort of transformation between them both.
Well, or maybe he's still horrible to his sister and, pleasant to you now. We should keep an eye on him.
Yes, we should. Well, I'm going to ask him straightforward. That it just seems so out of character. Such a lovely person.
One never knows.
Well, I suppose we should join together our considerable talents and find out what's at the root of all of this problem, right?
All right. I will certainly take that chance. I think that it would make sense that my uncle would keep it low this first evening anyway. So
Did I hear a rumor that the old man had a thing with Master Fond?
a thing that sounds so. He's an old man. He's a dignified man. To call it a thing sort of hurts my heart.
Well, even
perhaps he
old
did.
men were young men once.
I remember her from when I was a child.
I just say, be careful, my dear, and I will do whatever I can to support your subterfuge. But once again, even with him not here, I fear he leads you into trouble.
And you will produce her by morning. And that is the final demand I make. You hear this voice bellow out. And you will see Lord Yao emerging from some chambers and like shuts them behind him, and figures follow. His assistants kind of fall in, who've been waiting outside, follow behind him, and he will storm off angrily.
That didn't seem to go well, did it?
My goodness, who would say no to an imperial magistrate?
Let's cut from there. Golden Peony, I think it super appropriate that likewise you have not had a chance to change back into your Iron Lotus guise, and are coming out of that the bathhouse. When I think Song Da, you will cross paths with Golden Peony. I don't believe, Song Da, that you've met Golden Peony, but Golden Peony, you know Song Da.
Right.
And Song Da, you're a little distracted, and then this beautiful figure, still perhaps a little bit damp from the hot spring, hair kind of weighed down by the water, having changed, the perfume of the baths on her kind of comes stepping out into the moonlight in front of you.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to step into your. Please.
Oh, I apologize, Master Songda. I my brother speaks very highly of you. I'm pleased to see you here.
Wonderful. I met your brother? Is he part of the Bureau of Legends?
Oh, no. He wouldn't be part of such a valiant and esteemed institution. No. My brother is Iron Lotus. He works closely with Master Baoshi, and
Iron Lotus? You're you're Golden Peony then? I've heard Baoshi talk about you.
yes, of course. And like I cover my face with a sleeve. Like my brother would not deign to talk about me. I understand.
I didn't even know that you were in the area. I thought you stayed far, far away, engrossed in your deep, complicated, years-long needlework projects.
Yes, it has been most taxing, but my brother thought it would be good for me to take in some of the mountain air and uh, strengthen my constitution. So I am here on call if there's anything that he needs. And I extend that same courtesy to you, Master Songda, if there's anything I could do to be of assistance to you.
Oh, well, thank you. We should get tea together sometime. It would be wonderful to get
Meet
to
in
know
private? Yes, absolutely.
you. Well, all right. I suppose yes. If you're not feeling like being out in public, we could meet somewhere where quieter. Perhaps I could find out a little bit more about your brother. He is so closed off and difficult to understand sometimes.
And oh, I apologize on his behalf. Iron Lotus and I have been through much, and he struggles to express his truest feelings. But I can assure you, Master Songda, that you are incredibly precious to him. Your friendship means the world to him, of course.
Well, yes, I of course feel very it's friendly with about Iron. Um, but we should. Is it warmer in here? This whole
Oh.
estate feels very hot.
If you would like to cool off in my quarters, we could arrange that, of course, Master Sangha.
That would be thank you. I've been feeling a bit lightheaded today. It would be nice to sit down.
Of course, follow me, please.
Oh, now, yes.
And let me take your things.
Oh, well, yes, I sure. I think. Are you sure you don't need help with your robe there?
Oh, and there's a moment where it like slips a little bit. No, I of course not. I apologize. How unseemly of me.
No, it's fine. We're just that way then, are we? You said?
Yes, let me guide you, Master Songda. And I just like touch the back of your elbow to lead you gently towards where we should be headed.
And I think because this is a wuxia melodrama with some comedy elements clearly at this point, I think that's the point at which Baoshi and Law Song Jinai, you will cross paths with Song Da and Golden Peony. Kind of hit a crossroads on one of these paths up and paths down.
Oh my goodness. Golden Peony, how nice to see you.
Yes, Baoshi, I was going to tell you the Golden Peony is apparently in the area. I just ran across her coming out of the springs. Well, not while she was coming out of the springs, obviously, after she had come out of the springs.
Yes, Shadai had had said that they had. Uh, it's good to see you as well, Song Dog. PbtA, how nice to see you. It's been a terribly long time. You should come visit Lotus and I.
Oh, I wouldn't want to distract the two of you, Master Baoshi. The two of you are working on so many important things. I wouldn't want to be a bother.
But we have the perfect opportunity this evening. Why don't we all have dinner together? Iron Lotus, you Baoshi, you Santa, and you Golden Peony.
Yes, and if we're making a group event of it, you could invite your niece. I heard that she's been in town.
Oh, this is Janai. This is Janai.
This is,
Oh, I mean, your uncle, rather. Sorry.
I will see. It's a grumpy old man.
I wouldn't be surprised if he hasn't already drank himself to bed.
There's a lot of history here, so give him a little slack, at least this first evening.
I think that it's a lot. To be honest, I haven't seen Lotus around in quite some time, but he's very clever about checking out a place. Very diligent.
All right. So dinner then?
Dinner sounds lovely. Peony, please. As I say, I haven't seen you in so long, and well, Sanai has said that Lotus has not been perhaps as kind as he should be on some of the tasks he's had to do. I would hate to think that that I'm keeping him away from handling his own sort of affairs so that you can have a life of your own.
Oh, I'm so sorry if I made that impression upon you, Lost Song Janai, to speak so ill of my brother in such a fashion, but I assure you, I am quite happy with my relationship with Iron Lotus. But yes, dinner sounds lovely. I will just make sure that Master Songda can assist me in making sure I'm wearing something appropriate for dinner. I say as it further slips down my shoulder.
I'm no great judge of fashion, but I could try and help you pick an outfit.
Excellent.
For you
We'll
to
see
put
you
on.
in dinner. And I grab like Songda and start moving him like in the direction of the room.
Oh, she.
I kind of as they move off, I look at Lost Song and my goodness, did you sense a bit of chemistry between them?
I don't know if it was between them precisely.
Well,
Huh. She's there's the two of us going, huh?
And I think you can grab one of the servants here. There's still partying and festivities going on, at this late hour, and you will ask them, and they will come down to the courtyard. We'll set up a space for you, a table, and we'll have food brought for you.
have you by chance seen Iron Lotus, my friend and companion?
You'd have to describe him to me, sir.
Oh, certainly. Blonde, very blonde.
No, I haven't.
Really? Well, I'm sure he'll turn up. If you happen to see someone of that description, please let him know that I would like an opportunity for us to speak. And I was assuming we would be sharing quarters.
Certainly, sir. Certainly, sir. I will spread the word amongst the servants. Our thanks to you for resolving the situation earlier.
No problem at all. You see, sometimes people let emotions overcome logic.
And she'll gesture, and another servant will take you down to that main courtyard where there's still groups of people kind of late into the evening drinking and eating and so on, and they'll set you up at a table there, and they'll send one of the servants up to wait at Iron Lotus / Golden Peony's room to lead them. So Iron Lotus,
We do have an extra chair though for Iron Lotus for when he gets here.
yes,
So,
absolutely. Iron Lotus, you drag Song Da to your room.
And I say, I apologize if that was abrupt. I get very shy around so many people. I hope I was not too forward.
Oh, no, of course not. I mean, much time as Iron Lotus and I have spent together, it's almost like we're family.
How about that inner conflict?
I knew it. Fine.
I've been holding back on the pulling the trigger on that particular one, but I think now is appropriate.
Yeah, okay, fine. I'm trying to.
Good news is you get to mark XP.
Yeah, I do. I would do that now before I forget. Yeah, I think I'm trying to stay focused and calm. So okay. So rolling with Earth. 8.
So do you want to mark your Earth? Or do you want to kind of ditch Song Da?
Ooh. I will. Oh, sorry, I meant wood. Now I can't get over that joke we said earlier. But I will mark my wood as well.
So to speak.
So to speak. Yeah, I think there's a moment where Golden Peony, like, yes, of course, family and the closeness it derives. Truth be told, Master Songda, outside of my brother, I don't have many relationships. So I apologize if my social skills and graces are not what you're used to. I say as I lead you into the room.
Oh, no. It's fine. In fact, Lotus never talks about how the two of you grew up either. Did you lose your parents at an early age?
Ooh, flashback to us finding our mother murdered by the by
Yes.
the conspiracy. Right? And I say, yes, I'm afraid it shows, does it not, that we were raised without the guidance of our parents. We did lose both at an early age.
Oh, no. I could never tell. I just bring it up because Lotus never talks about these things.
It is difficult, yes. I say, and I'm like behind a screen now, like getting like the clothes and like, changing. But of course, this is a wuxia series, so you can see the silhouette against the screen.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. And I say, but yes, it was a difficult time. We were not quite the same after we lost both our parents. I fear it hardened both of our hearts.
I have to say, you don't seem overly hard to me. You're a very nice and welcoming young woman. What is happening?
And as you say that, I step out from, and I'm dressed right for dinner. That is so kind of you to say, Master Songda, even though we have just met. But it's true. I feel like somehow we've known each other for a long time.
There is, like I said, a familiarity to you. I too feel like you know who that color would look amazing. That outfit would look just amazing on Iron Lotus. He never wears that shade of green. I really think it would bring out his eyes well.
I will make sure to tell him that, Master Songda. I should change into something else then.
Oh, well, I didn't mean. Well, oh, all right.
I'm
What
going
color
to
do
cut
you think would
away.
suit my eyes? I asked.
Go on. I'll let you finish that. Yeah. we'll cut on that note. We'll come to Bao Shi. You and Janai are seated there. It's clearly taking them a while. You will see people kind of now talking and sort of that now more of a like, what is going on? I'm not sure what's happening, that kind of thing. And Janai, I think you will be like, you will catch, because you're an expert listener, I think you'll catch the laughter that you heard in the bathhouse. And you will see this woman in the marks of the Verdant Sword Alliance, along with clearly her entourage, come down and settle herself at a table and kind of set herself up to kind of hold court. And you will see at least one courtier kind of come over and address her as a peony knight.
So she's the ringleader, huh?
She seems very composed.
Really? So she's the girl boss. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Mean girl boss. Yeah. So what are the dynamics of the group?
Do you want to make a roll? Study?
Sure, let's do this. Let's see here.
I think it's the background. I'm regaling you with how my mystery of the hairpin happened. So we
Okay.
have the babble of me talking inanity as you're paying attention to something else.
But she nods the whole time, it's very like, it does this. Okay, so I think that I will use, let's see here. Calculation, reflection. So just gonna use up all of my positive stats, so I have none left. So I'm
Absolutely. Let's
rolling
burn
2d6
through
and
those.
adding 1. So that gives me 7. Take the 1.
So one hold. What's your question or declaration?
I know her little posse thinks a great deal of her, but what are the reactions from the other folks of standing in Verdant leaves?
Like, she very clearly has the ear and attention of like the seniors, of the older folks within the alliance, the establishment presence. Like they seem to treat her with some regard, whereas maybe the younger folks, or maybe you guess the newer members, their reaction is more muted, more subdued.
Avoidance or just
Yeah,
not as impressed?
a certain amount of not impressed, but also a certain amount of avoidance, like clearly not wanting to get in her crosshairs.
Okay.
Does that sound fair?
Well, yeah, it does, because I think there's that part of Janai that's like, would love to show her, but got to figure out how to do it so I'm not all involved. So
So we'll see that the Bao Shi and Janai seated there. Beautiful meal laid out for you, some drinks, some time passes, maybe a little bit longer than you thought. Should we say eventually that Golden Peony, you and Songda will come down? And
As I
yeah.
see them approaching, I'll look at Janai and say, well, we have the other two, but I have not heard from Lotus at all since we arrived. I'm beginning to get a little worried. It's very unlike him to not trade notes by now. It's been hours.
Well, I could go and look around for him.
Let us enjoy our dinner, and if
We
need
haven't
be,
heard
I'll
of ruckus, so we know at least he hasn't gotten caught up in something,
And
right?
after dinner, I'll go in search of him.
I can help you if you'd like.
Thank you, dear.
Peony, Songda, you will approach the table where there are 5 seats.
Oh, that's right. You got me so distracted talking about the conditions on the road here. I totally forgot we were supposed to stop by and pick up Lotus.
I'm gonna use my shadow boxing move.
All right.
A secret group or order aids you. You may not be aware of their assistance. Once per session, you can flashback to some preparation, interference, or negotiation they've done on your behalf. I want someone who looks like Iron Lotus to like pass by and like head in and like look like they're busy. That's my goal, right? And
Sure.
and he cannot be bothered. We'll see if that happens. Okay, so I'm gonna roll with this. I have to say it's metal because this feels very calculated.
Absolutely.
Okay. Got an 8.
That is an 8.
I
So
will burn 2 bonds to make this a 10.
Okay. Then I think I think what we actually see is there is a figure who comes by and hands you a note, Golden Peony, from your brother that asks you to inform his colleagues that he is following a lead and he will speak with the group in the morning with important details. And he hopes, essentially that everyone is well. Does that seem fair?
Yeah, and I'll say like they see Iron Lotus very rudely leaving, like just making sure that the note is received. And I say, oh, I apologize for my brother. When he gets very focused, he forgets his social graces a little bit. But yes. And I read out loud the message to everyone.
Oh, well, that's it's a shame. I mean, if he's got a solid lead on something, maybe he could use my help. He says, like seeming like he's about to start standing up.
This song, Lotus is quite capable, and I'm not entirely sure your trailing along would aid in what he's doing. Still a bit of a surprise. It's so good to see you both.
Yes, even if my brother cannot make it, I will be sure to entertain you, Master Baoshi, with my own humble stories.
Your company is a great pleasure to me. I've always enjoyed our chats.
So happy to hear you say that, Master
And-
Baoshi.
And young Songda, so good to have you here as well. It seems as though whenever anything interesting is afoot, there you are.
Yes, well, it's been a busy day ever since I arrived at the manor. And then, and of course, once I got up to the, and then I ran in the, I'm sorry, you were saying something?
Apparently only I. And I'll sort of smile and turn my attention away from you.
I think there'll be a bit as food and things are prepared here, and it's now probably midnight. It's the late hours, the last rounds of preparing for coming out here, and you will see a pair of figures come. One sort of maybe a little bit more reluctantly, drawing the other along, and you will see Sun Yang, who has a little bit of a ruffled appearance, and he has with him Undaunted Zedong, the drunken master, and Zedong kind of comes over, grabs that fifth chair,
I was looking for him.
and she settles herself in. And Sun Yang kind of looks a little uncomfortable and is like, greetings, elders, uncles. May we join you?
And I will stand up and say, certainly. And I think I will grab one of the empty chairs from a girl boss's table and not even look at her, just turn it around and put it on our table.
And who is our other one with?
Undaunted Zedong, your drunken master, and Sun Yang, the young man.
Okay. So yeah.
So good to see all of you again. I apologize, but Mistress Zedong insisted on interrupting.
He is so good at insisting.
I am.
Have the two of you been enjoying the festivities?
And you'll see Sun Yang kind of look off in the distance, and yes.
Follow that gaze.
And Undaunted Zedong, you watch it. Undaunted Zedong says, he spotted a beautiful servant girl, and he has been wandering around pining after her for the whole evening. His face will go red, just bright crimson red.
Young man, perhaps considering your intent, you should keep yourself more focused.
I was completely focused on gathering histories.
Not you, so.
Obviously.
Well, yes, but not you, Sumda.
And Zedong will gesture over, and more wine is brought for all of you in that way that says everybody should drink. Let's all sit and enjoy and relax and enjoy each other's company here. And Zedong will finally go, who are you two? Where did you get these pretty ladies?
I'm sorry. Golden Peony and Los Jedi. This is an old friend.
Well, that's a very nice thing to say. You must be you must be Blue Mountain Headaches
Yes,
niece.
that is correct.
Good. And you must be somebody important too.
Oh, no, not at all. But I'm very pleased to meet you.
Well, that's very generous of you to say. Such a beautiful, beautiful person such as yourself. Wine? More?
Oh, if you would like more wine, we could order more for you,
That
my lady.
I will take you up on that. And she will slam down some more wine. And after a bit, as you're kind of seeing, there's less traffic coming back and forth, but you will see a figure come out into the sort of open air tables and gardens and things, and you will see Cheng Rogong. And you see her kind of look around, and she sees Baoshi, she sees Song Da, who she knows, the others she's not familiar with, but she
I'll give a curt nod.
She just knows Janai, that's right too. She will approach over to where you are at. Master Baoshi, Song Da, Janai, and to kind of look at you, Iron Lotus.
A dear friend, Golden Peony. Is there something we can help you with?
I am somewhat worried.
Why so?
My detective friend,
Yes.
First Orchid, um, who I travel with together. She's gone missing.
Here.
Yes. I've found her rooms disheveled. I've looked around and I don't know what has gone on.
So you think that she was found and then her rooms were searched?
As I said before, I'm not a detective, not like you and your compatriots, so I could not say. But there are people here, forces here, who certainly would not wish me or First Orchid well, as you know.
I'll kind of give a little bit of a hard mouth, on that, but and kind of catch her eye. I wouldn't imagine that she was venturing into places she shouldn't, would she?
Like you and your friends, she has a nose for things. But she is not given to, as you know, she is more cautious, perhaps even than myself.
Well, I will be on the lookout. I'll look over to Janai and, exchange that look of, oh dear, does this seem like trouble?
Yeah, and I do think Chennai will sort of stand up and she will go to Chang Rogang and she'll go, there are more than just Somberjun who would be alarmed at the hearing about puzzle swords. If First Orchid was looking for something there, she may have stumbled across something they are trying to protect.
I do not, and that is when you will hear a shriek, a scream, cut across the courtyard, and it will cut through the night here. It's late now, maybe 1, 2 in the morning, but you will hear a cry, you'll hear a scream, and you'll hear murder, murder. Master Fawn is dead.
Oh,
murder. And that is where we are going to take up next time.
Okay.
Well, there was something in the middle of that I would have liked to have tried before
Sure.
we go further.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
While I'm talking with Golden Peony and we've had these chances to just, chat and such like,
I'd
like to trace the shadows.
Okay. Let's have you make that roll.
All right. I think I'm going to be rolling with, let's see. I think I'm probably going with wood. Seems a theme for the evening, and it's more curious. I mean, I don't think I'm being calculated in this. I think that I'm really, because again,
yes, wood has been a theme.
It has been a theme. But I've always played this idea of like, Janai, I can see immediately when it's Janai compared to Blue Mountain Scholar. I never can see anything of Iron Lotus. So I think it's more of the curiosity stream. So I'll roll with wood.
All right.
All right. That's an 8. Is it worth me boosting? Let's see.
And the difference would be whether she is aware or unaware of your workings.
Oh, I think I'll go with aware. I think that makes sense.
All right. Let me sit on that for a week.
Okay.
Let me because I kind of know, but I want to get the phrasing and connection right. So
Well, and keep in mind that it'll be her deciding because she's a PC. Golden Peony.
Oh, I'm
Iron
sorry. I
Lotus.
thought you were doing it with Chang Rogan.
No, Golden Peony.
Oh, okay. I apologize. So now this is a question. So on a hit, the GM for NPCs or player for PCs will reveal entanglement and a secret they would prefer to remain hidden. Now, this is one of those places where we do check in if the PC is okay with that. Are you okay with that, Golden Peony?
Yeah.
Is that cool?
Then do you wish to say what?
Yeah. I think what Baoshi picks up on is how in love Golden Peony is with Songda. Like it's very, like it's more than just chemistry. Like it's a true yearning that has been going on for a while.
I think there's this like, oh, that's lovely. Such a nice boy and such a lovely girl. Getting out from underneath her brother's thumb. If Lotus is truly being such a tyrant, this would surely be grand.
That seems perfect. And then we cry murder. If you don't mind, I would like to do a quick stars and wishes, particularly things you want to see for next time. Song Da. Let's start with you. Stars, wishes.
It was a very fun session. Obviously had a theme that built up around it. This is our thirst session for the show. I just really loved that miss on the inner conflict and the whole fanfic storyline. Like I am very much looking forward to further horribly awkward scenes with her. Jimmy, I really liked finally getting a chance to meet Golden Peony. I loved the two of you and Lost Song in the hot springs, having your like again weirdly loaded conversations in all scenes. That was wonderful between the two of you. Nice to see more of Lost Song, but especially to really get Golden Peony out there and the like nearly sarcastically over the top, like, oh no, I am just so weak and terrible and unworth anything, but you should ask Iron Lotus. His opinion is so masculine and worthy of being listened to. Like that whole thing, it was wonderful.
Good stuff.
And Tyler, I sort of enjoyed seeing Baoshi a bit bounced around and out of his element, as he's used to sort of being the smooth party guy at the nice upscale gatherings and everybody's listening to him. And there's just this weird chaos going on around you in every scene, basically. Wishes, I mean, more of the same mostly, except I am looking forward to meeting more with the fangirl daughter weird situation there.
Fair enough. Janai.
Can I just say that I love that all the characters who are in disguise go to great trouble to make themselves seem in some way sort of horrible or pitiable. you know, and it's just, it is such a thing because you just want to look away, right? So that you don't notice. And it's like they're all doing that. It's really, really good. And I just big thumbs up, Jamie, for Golden Peony being so terrifically, helplessly female. Just last night I was overwhelmed. So good. And you'd think she would know. And I love the NPCs, the Peony Knight. I want to fight her. It's like poof, great. And I'm really, really interested to see how Undaunted Zedong, I should say, how they're involved in this one. So yes, and I appreciated that they were looking out for Sonya. So that was very good. So yeah, Sangda was so off his feet. It was really good. It was awesome, and it was like that perfect bit of slapstick that the episode needed. And Baoshi, you were wonderful, and your mini mystery was just perfect. Made you an enemy, made you a bunch of friends. So very good. It was just so much good stuff. But yeah, a Golden Peony, whew, she was amazing. So really loved it.
And wishes?
Yeah, I think at some point I do want to get into a fight with Peony Knight. I don't know. There's
Okay.
just something, you know. There's something about that mean girl boss thing that
She's a mean
there's a lot
girl,
of things.
and she stepped on Golden Peony's name.
Yeah, that's another thing. She doesn't deserve the peony part of it. Plus, you know, yeah, I don't know why. That just really bothered me. So, but yeah, and then of course I want justice to be done, but I'm still gonna punch Peony Knight at some point.
Okay.
So that's my wish.
Perfect. Golden Peony, Iron Lotus.
Yes, so thank you everyone for putting up with Golden Peony. I almost choked a few times. It's very difficult to say those things. But that was really, really fun. I knew that the hot spring scene was going to be fun, but it was even more fun than I thought it was going to be. So that was really great. And I was teasing in the chat that she was writing fan fiction, but knowing that she was writing that kind of fan fiction was even more rewarding. I think poor Songda has really like been through the ringer. Like, I appreciate seeing all the highs and lows that Songda went through today. And I also like what's going on between Golden Peony and Lost Song Janai. Was very, very interesting. I like the pressure that was mounted up when people were like, but where is Iron Lotus? I haven't seen him all night. And I was like, I'm so glad I have this move that Lowell created. If I can make doppelgangers of Songda, I can make a single Iron Lotus, right? So that was super fun. I just really love this game, and I really like the feeling. I love the new version of the study move, like being able to get another hold if I take a cost seems super fun. That was like really, really great. I also like that moment where Baoshi is like, what's going on here with Golden Peony? So that was also I'm sad I missed the mini mystery. I'm gonna replay the video so I can catch it. I had to step away for a while, but I can't wait to see it. I just heard the worst part, like, excuse me, like when things went bad. But yeah, super, super fun session. It's so great to come back to these characters. It's a lot of fun.
Wishes?
Wishes. I think I'm just very excited to get into the mystery next time.
Okay.
So just more of the same. Very awesome stuff.
Excellent. And Baoshi?
Obviously huge stars here, collecting the last few in my hands. I'll say, Lola, it was nice how you really rolled things out, the NPC work, and honestly, the throwing us together in neat ways and kind of shaping how those scenes, you did a lovely job of just ramping up our interpersonal tensions, which is kind of cool to see at this point. And I mean, we are well aware of these characters. We've lived in these characters, and you're finding nice ways to bring tension in. That said, watching Jamie and Patrick torture each other is always this massive, massive enjoyment. It's like, who's going to turn the crank on the rack a little bit harder? You know, it's just great.
That
there
eye thing was very painful, I will say. I'm going to carry that throughout the rest of the day.
it was lovely. It was just because it also brought in really neat depths to the character. And I kind of, you know, I'm involved in this romance partially because, you know, I'm interested to see where they fall on how this can be. I you know, this is a weird love triangle with only two people. It's very interesting. Sherry, I love when you and I play with each other. I think I love the chemistry between Janai and Bao-Shi. I really think that's fun. But watching you go to work in that in our little tub scene, oh, phenomenal. The way you were trying to push and Peony, and of course Jamie. Peony was so well realized. We hadn't seen much of her, and you just threw in this so over the top, not really her. I mean, it was a tub of lies. We know that Golden Peony is fucking awesome, and to do nothing but give this, oh, I'm a delicate flower, was just phenomenal. So it was so good watching the two of you go at each other. That was just magnificent. Wishes. I kind of dilettante through my detective work. I like that's kind of how Bao-Shi does it, but I'd like to know what's up with that puzzle sword. My wish is to discover something important and concrete, rather than so much of what is oblique in our investigations.
The puzzle sword is one of the facets in the mystery. So that will be a thing that we can start, like when we get to the end, we can start tying some clues together, and we can use that as part of our thing. So definitely the puzzle sword is on the table as a factor in all of this.
Cool. Because again, a lot of the mystery aspect is it's oblique how we go at things, but I'd love to establish some facts.
Oh yeah, we'll get that on the table. Awesome. Thank you all so much. I am going to stop the recording.